Alright, yo, what up, what up? Welcome back to the solar system series known as Have You Thought About It This Way? Where we talk about the most detail-oriented sign in this ecliptic, known as Virgo. Now, based off the title, you may have realized that we won't be directly talking about a Virgo placement in this video, but what we will be talking about is one of the supporting placements of Virgo, which is its opposing sign that happens when you're born with this sun sign, known as Earth in Pisces. Now, we all know that Earth is a part of the solar system, but it may have been left out astrologically for some reason. We're not going to get into why that is, but we're going to talk about how this placement actually works and what it influences. You know what I'm saying? So now let's give you a little background information so you can actually think about this, right? So when you're born, you're getting your sun sign placed, right? That's the sun is basically angling whatever sign space that it's in that space in the sky at that point in time, right? Now, being that Earth is from an opposing angle, it is angling the opposite space in the sky. So, if you do have a Sun in Virgo placement, which is mutable Earth, being adaptable and changeable to different ways of thinking and practicality, then your Earth placement would naturally be Pisces, mutable water, being adaptable and changeable to different ways of feeling and adding emotion to those feelings. You know what I'm saying? So, let's get into it a little bit, right? Earth in Pisces, Earth in Pisces, Earth in Pisces. Now, what is Earth? To basically figure out the Earth energy, all you have to do is throw a seed in some fertile soil and basically go along the process of actually making that seed from a sprout to a little sapling type of John, and then a freaking whole just actual plant that actually can bear fruits to your labor. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you go through this process, analyze what you have to do. You have to have a good soil, good foundation. You have to water it consistently. You have to pay very close attention to it and be caring, nurturing. Make sure that shit actually comes up out of the soil and focus on it. You know what I'm saying? Now, you may not want to, talk about and share your seeds with other people till it actually sprouts, because, it basically carries the similar vibration to why you don't tell people you have a baby during the first freaking trimester, because you don't know if that shit's actually going to work out. It could still die. Who knows? The birthing stage in this world is a harsh environment. Without modern medicine, you used to have freaking, maybe 4 out of 12 babies who would survive through the whole upbringing. Who knows what would happen? Anyways, now let's talk. Aside from those interesting examples, let's talk about what an actual seed is esoterically, right? A seed is a thought, an experience that actually or a concept, an experience that actually sticks with you, that you desire to manifest in some way, shape, or form. Which is why I call your Earth placement the bus stop to a manifestation. Because it's an energetic form of Earth. It's a vibration that you carry within yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's basically just these energetic principles that basically do play out the same way as it would with a seed, except it plays out the same way for your thought. Like I said, something that you want to experience, right? Now, this being in Pisces, mutable water, how does this play out for Virgos, right? First off, let's talk about Pisces a little bit, right? Pisces is mutable water, being adaptable and changeable to different ways of feeling and adding emotion to things. Now, Pisces is born from the 12th house. The 12th house is basically the house of dreams, illusions, creativity, basically, your spiritual connection, your subconscious mind. It does all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? Pisces is away in Mercury, the planet of thinking and communication. It doesn't really vibe well with the whole, hey, let me think about the whole collective conscious and basically break down the whole thought pattern of how people feel about various different topics. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mess with that. It is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion through experience, as well as co-ruled by the planet Neptune. Neptune is the actual, physical planet, the whole chakra wheel that we basically use our connection to, the whole astral sea and collective conscious and all that stuff, and how we actually vibe with those outer very light influences of, oh, this is how the people collectively feel about this situation. You know what I'm saying? The way you can sort of see something like that is by looking at, a general thought that plays its way out through society. You know what I'm saying? So say, an election for some reason. There's a whole collective conscious on different party members in this election. You know what I'm saying? People just feel this type of way in a certain camp, people feel this type of way in a certain camp, and you can break them down into subgroups. You feel me? So this is sort of what Neptune and Pisces sort of do, and how they get into that, and they can really touch into these feelings and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying here, I feel what you're saying, and they can sort of just ride the wave and vibe with whoever, And Pisces is also exalted in Venus. This is the planet of love, appreciation, values, as well as how you relate to others. This is where Pisces gets that feeling of like, you know what, I'm really messing with the dream. I gotta tell somebody about this dream. Oh, this is how a certain group of people feel this way. Oh, yeah, I fucks with these people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to actually go be like, hey, here, I mess with you. Let's go over here. These people mesh together, let's mesh together. And they just want to relate these dreams of how they see the sort of collective conscious just playing out, and they just want to join people together that sort of they would feel like they would vibe. You know what I'm saying? That's how the Venus aspect of it plays out. Anyways, with this being placed in Earth, let's talk about how, this angles the whole Virgo sun sign being their Earth and Pisces sign. So, let's talk about this. So, Earth and Pisces people, they are, this is sort of why Virgos are so grounded in what's practical. You know what I'm saying? This sort of ties into the 12th house being in your physical body, being angled with your feet. This is where Neptune lies naturally within the creation of the body. And this sort of goes to show that you are basically grounded in this dream. This is why Virgos are so, I guess, quote unquote, grounded in what they're doing at the moment. They're living here. This is their dream. This is what they want to do. So with this being their Earth placement, their basically dream is to just make shit happen and go through the work process through this realm. And this is why you can sort of extract it and just be like, Virgos feel, they're kind of like, this is what makes them feel like everybody's sort of kind of, I don't want to say like an airhead, but this is what makes them feel like everybody outside of them is very like, loosey-goosey and sort of like free-flowing rather than they are. And a way you can sort of see this is like when a Virgo says, hey, let me check your schedule. A lot of this may sort of be like an age group type of thing, but a lot of people don't actually have a schedule the way a sun sign Virgo person would. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they say, hey, let me check your schedule, it's sort of like, people will be like, they may not be like, oh, I don't have a schedule directly, but they'll probably just brush it off and say some shit like, oh, I'm not doing good today. And it's like, oh, what's your schedule looking like? Oh, I'm doing this, and this. And the person that a Virgo is talking to may not actually be doing something directly that day, but what they may be doing is kind of like, they may be doing some things of that day, but they won't directly tell the Virgo, because the Virgo is so very cut and dry and being like, this is the work process, this is the plan I have, this is what I'm actually doing, here's a screenshot of my schedule, let me see a screenshot of your schedule. So yeah, sometimes Virgo does get into that weird space of where it's like, oh, I have a schedule, you should too, where they're just projecting it onto you, and it's just like, well, I asked you this question and you said you had a schedule, so why, so where is it? Let me see it, let me see what this block of time this is in. Over time they may sort of relax on that and realize that everybody isn't exactly like them, but sometimes they go through a brief period of projecting, their own viewpoints and dreams on how you should interact in this realm onto you. You know what I'm saying? Another point you can kind of glean from this Earth and Pisces situation is that, oh, okay, when they actually are going through the work process, it is sort of like a fluid flow that they've created in this sort of moldable, just mutable Earth type of realm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they're not, yes, they do plan out the work process and go step by step with the situation, but an important point that they kind of neglect is how they feel in this moment that leads them down this path of workflow, you know what I'm saying? Because they may be getting into a situation where, they are working on a certain project and they are starting to get into the mode of just focusing on the efficiency of how they go about doing things rather than the efficiency of creating this product themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's where it gets kind of weird, because once they start going back forth between the actual project and efficiency on themselves, they can sort of go down this road where it may split, of where it's they're really focusing on perfection, and this can either lead to a negative state of being, or it can lead to you and your higher buddies sort of looking at you like, oh, he's going through a hard time, I'll toss him a bone. You know what I'm saying? This is because if you do sort of get into the space where you're not actually getting anything done as quickly as you may want to, it gets sort of weird, because you're just, like I said, you're just going in on yourself about the whole perfectionism aspect of where it's oh, I'm not doing this as quickly or as well or as productive as I may want to, and then that sort of puts you into the nightmare stage of Neptune in some way, because how they're both ruled. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and co-ruled by Neptune. So if you're expanding into this space, and it has the, you know, the hint of like the nightmare part of the situations going on, that's where it can get bad, because you'll start doubting yourself. You'll be like, oh, I can't do this. And if you keep going through that situation in your head over and over and over again, you're basically quickly planting bad seeds. You're quickly planting, you know, bad fruit for you to eat that will actually make you feel like, oh, I can't do this. I gotta quit. Why won't it work? You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll really get into that space. And you don't want to get into that space, because that'll lead, like I said, it'll lead down two roads. You'll either get a gift and it'll, like, you know, your higher buddies or you, or you'll figure out something some type of way where you'll just clear your space and you'll toss yourself, or you'll have a higher buddy toss you a bone, and it's just like, I synthesized a new method. I can do this the way I want to. Yippee! You know what I'm saying? Now, Virgo may not actually do that and act weird like that, unless they're getting into some type of weird situation to where it's like, oh, this is how I feel people act and react to people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to copy them and do this like technical version of what I think emotion is. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, pardon me for being like, you know what I'm saying, but sometimes you got to pick new filler words than Alright, back to the topic at hand. You know, if this does go down a good road of like, you actually do understand that you need to feel good before you start getting into this work process, and then it can be like your dream work, your dream state, where you actually set the intention of, oh, I want to synthesize this that makes it 10% more efficient. I want to synthesize this where it makes 30% more efficient, and I want to find a whole new way that I learned so I can intake information at twice the rate, and actually, you know, that'll just double the whole speed of the process. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like, it's sort of like, I don't know if you ever played the game Civilization, you know, but basically, where you actually get, you know, a great person that, like, is like a sort of special scientist type of person that can, you know, decrease the cost of a building by 50%, or increase, you know, your gold production by 50%, and do something like that. That's sort of like you getting that light bulb moment when you are in that dream state, actually flowing through the work process the way you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just where it's just where you basically get an idea or a gift that just helps you do everything. That's basically what the sort of Earth in Pisces attracts, you know, because you going through as I mentioned, you going through the work process is, you know, the astrological body version of a dream. You're grounded in this realm and actually manifesting things on your own time through your own abilities by, you know, wanting to create things from yourself is like one of the ultimate ways to vibe with the universe in some type of way. Because the universe doesn't help people that are just stuck and just want to sit there. They're going to be like, okay, you can get washed up into the current. You can be like a rock and sink to the damn bottom of the creek. Because we don't give a fuck about you. You're not moving, so we're not putting you on display. You're like a crappy piece of art. Why would we put you on display? No one's going to buy you. You know what I'm saying? And this is sort of where, like, Virgos take this aspect head on. Because even though they may not necessarily vibe with the actual, like, universe, they vibe with here very, very well, because they know exactly how to go through this work process in this realm. So of course the universe is going to help them along the way, as long as their goals are aligned with what they want to do. Like, they'll be like, here man, here's an idea, we'll toss you a bone, this is your dream, we'll help you, you're believing in it, you're doing your thing, why not help you? Of course we're going to put, you know, the proper people, places, things, and opportunities right in front of you so you can do what you want to do. Anyways, I'm about to ramble on a whole different topics. I know I mentioned a bunch of dream things, but we're talking about a Pisces sign right now. So dreams, illusions, subconscious realm, conscious, you know, collective conscious, and all that stuff in this collective space. Of course that's going to come in when we're talking about something in Pisces. Now I tied it back to Earth. You know, we're talking about Earth and Pisces. So there you go. Alignments happening right before your eyes. Anyways, let's talk about the Pisces sign a little bit. So Pisces is born from the 12th house, the house of dreams, illusions, spiritual situations, your spiritual connection, the collective conscious, so on and so forth. It is mutable water, being adaptable and changeable to different ways of feeling and adding emotion to things. It is exalted in Venus. It's ruled by Jupiter, as well as being co-ruled by Neptune. And then it is away, and I don't exactly want to say it falls, but it doesn't do great in Mercury. But yeah, nonetheless, it's away in Mercury. Anyways, thanks for watching the Solar System series with our little tangent about this Earth sign known as, have you thought about it this way? Anyways, peace.